What is up YouTube, Crafting Cars here, happy Tuesday. Now first things first, Gideon and I would like to thank you for helping our channel reach 1,500 subscribers. We're pretty stoked to be hitting this milestone and we'll be sure to celebrate by making some updates to the Crafting Cars website, maybe some holiday merch coming out soon. We'll definitely be doing some giveaways and making some improvement updates to the channel. I got good news, finally got the brackets in that are going to allow us to do the rear disc conversion on the Civic. So today we're going to get started with that. Although these brackets do look a little bit different than what I ordered on the website, so hopefully this still works out. Either way, let's get started jacking up the car and taking all the wheels off. What? Making a video tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you said for my date tomorrow.
Oh no. I don't go on dates. Alright, so now that we're all jacked up in the air, we can start taking apart the drum assembly, starting with the outside drum here. Sometimes they just pull right off. If it doesn't want to come off though, first thing you want to check is to make sure that your e-brake's disengaged. And if it is and it still doesn't want to come out, you can give it a couple light taps with a hammer all the way around. And if it still doesn't work, what you can do is take some bolts and thread it into these holes, and these will act as kind of jacking bolts. As you screw it into the drum assembly, it should pop this drum off. That must be my lucky day, because mine literally slid right off. The last time I had this drum off was like in high school, so that's very surprising. Now is also a really good time to look at your wheel bearings back here. If your spin's nice and smooth and quiet like this, you should be good to go. But if it feels all grainy and makes some noise, it's probably a good idea to change this out while you're in there. So now we'll go ahead and pop off this dust cap. There she goes. Now we gotta take that nut off. You can see right here the nut is bent in a little bit. You wanna go ahead and bend that back. There we go. Now this nut right here can be pretty tight. So along with your 32mm socket, you might wanna grab a breaker bar, or if you have one of those nice high powered impact guns, you might wanna go grab that. Sheesh. Wasn't too bad. Now we'll go ahead and take this hub off. You shouldn't need a puller for this, but if you got one, probably not a bad idea to use it. I plan on just pulling it while I give it small taps with a hammer all the way around. There you go. Well, it looks like I actually will be replacing this bearing in here, because as I pull the spindle off, it looks like the inside race is stuck onto the spindle, pulling the bearing apart, so that's awesome. Anyway, let's continue with this disassembly. We'll go ahead and take off these little springs here that hold on the brake shoes, and then continue taking off the springs. For these springs, you just gotta push down while you turn these little pins inside of them. Usually can't get it with your hands, but that's nice. Kind of like that. Oh. Okay, so to get the parking brake cable out, looks like you just kind of push in on this spring. I'm gonna take this part here. feed it through there. All right, that wasn't too bad. These out of here. Oh, and I almost forgot. We're gonna wanna pull this parking brake cable out of this plate as well. I think I heard once that you could take one of these open end wrenches, I think this is a 13 millimeter, and you can use it to kind of squish down that bracket. Maybe I need a 12, and then push it through. Well, maybe I'll take that off when I get the plate off. Looks like I got it started. Each one of these little tabs it's in the hole, so the e-brake cable should pull out. For some reason it doesn't want to, so. All right, we should be good to take these 4 bolts out. They are 14 millimeter, and I recommend you use a 6-point socket as well as a breaker bar. The brake line fitting back here is a 10 millimeter. Really hope this one doesn't strip out. And it's stripped. God dang it. All right, well, I guess we're gonna remove the whole brake line then. Yep. She's stripped. Oh yeah, we got it. Somehow. Got a feeling we might be running new brake lines this winter. Maybe we'll try the vice grips on the back of the wheel cylinder and see if that works as well. Oh, yeah, I think it's working. Nice. Got that disconnected. I might just say screw it and cut this cable. Oh, we finally got it off, but man, that was a pain in the ass. Now we should be able to go ahead and take off this inside race that's stuck onto the spindle. All right, so that definitely wasn't the smoothest disassembly process, but at least now we have everything torn all the way down and out of the way. Unfortunately, when I went to install my bracket, I noticed that the bolt holes do not line up. So I did a little bit more research, checked on the website to see if I made any errors with my order, and sure enough, Honda has 2 different styles of rear trailing arms on these Civics, and it's not really consistent with, you know, the models. So the best way to determine which one you need is if you look at your rear trailing arms, there's 2-piece and 1-piece. This is what a 2-piece rear trailing arm looks like. Right behind the little stud here for the spindle, there's, you know, basically some concave pieces of metal. It's kind of like scalloped away, where if you have the 1-piece, it's completely flush. So the 2-piece, all kind of caved in, and it's actually bolted in from the inside of the trailing arm. So yeah, this flush one, you can't really tell on the website because they use the same picture across the website, but this is the one for the single-piece spindle, and I need to get the 2-piece. Fortunately enough, the shipping's pretty fast with their company, so I should get a replacement soon enough to make a part 2 video, so stay tuned for that. As far as everything else that kind of got ruined in the process here, the e-brake cable that we had to cut, that's okay because you need to run EM1 or 99-2000 Civic Si e-brake cables to get this conversion done. And then these brake lines, the nuts here that got all stripped out, that's all right because we'll be replacing the brake line with a stainless steel braided flexible brake line as well. So yeah, anytime you have issues like this, it's just an opportunity to upgrade. We don't have problems here at Crafting Cars, only solutions. So it's all good, and yeah, it's just more content. So hopefully I get all the parts I need by next Tuesday, and we'll be able to get going on that part 2 video. If not, I got some nice simulator parts coming this week. So I got my handbrake and my sequential shifter I want to install. So maybe we can do a video on that. Yeah, either way, I'll see you next time. Make sure you're not missing out on Gideon's videos every Friday. And thanks again for 1,500 subscribers. Why?